So, welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their backgrounds, their successes and challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. And this afternoon, I'm delighted that we have with us Craig Moore, who's the owner at Moore Cleaning Services. So, firstly, Craig, thank you for spending a bit of time with us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, Moore Cleaning Services, what you do, how you help people, that would be wonderful.
Right, thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to this. My name's Craig Moore. I'm owner of Moore Cleaning Services. We do a variety of services, pretty much anything to do inside commercial and homes. But as baby of his business is hoarding and helping people get their lives back to normal, and it's amazing and so heartwarming when we do it. We just love it now. It's becoming a very big part of his business. We're putting a lot of training in to get it right. It's got to be perfect for him.
So, explain a little bit more what that is, just for anyone that's not clear what that service is.
We could go to the house where people have got issues with hoarding. We'll have first of all, we're going for an initial chat and a conversation. So it can be an hour, some turn into 2 or 3 hours once you get talking to them and find out the reasons. And we delve into the reasons why, and then we build up like a package of what we can do and how to take it forward.
Brilliant.
We don't just in and bombard, and it's a slow process, but
yes.
It's successful, very successful.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's funny you mentioned that, because I realised not very long ago that I am a bit of a hoarder myself, and I realised that, and I literally went through an exercise quite recently of getting rid of a lot of stuff, and it made me feel amazing. So I could totally get how that would help people really improve their state of mind and mental health, because it's a weight on your mind knowing you've got all this stuff that you don't really want, but can't get rid of.
It did escalate with COVID as well, because people were stuck in, so we are seeing an uprise from that as well. So
right.
It's more, it's coming out now more and more when people are now out.
And do you? I mean, I'm interested in that. Just about interest. Do you get contacted primarily by the person themselves, or people around them, their family and friends, or
it's a mixture, to be honest? And we also get stuff from social services and NHS, stuff like that. We work very closely with them, and we've started in the last month or so working with Mind, which is a mental health charity. And we work closely with them now, and we're going in and helping them out with stuff.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. So, what a great thing to do. And as you say, it's something that I guess, you wouldn't think as being mainstream, but obviously it's happening more and more. I personally realised I'm a bit of a minor one, but certainly. So if we take a look back to start with, Craig, if you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into business, and why this particular one for you.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I was in management in Co-op for many years, and the business just changed, and I wasn't happy with it. And I look back on what my dad used to say. My dad always had his own businesses, and I just thought, well, what can I do? What can I bring into and do really well? And I'm dyslexic, so some stuff can be a bit harder for me. But it just means you put more effort in.
Yeah,
that's how I do it. That's how I've looked at it. I just have to put 10 times the effort in, but I do get there because I'm very dedicated to whatever I do. So, and I just woke up one day and I thought, I said to my missus at the time, I think I'm going to have to I want to set up a cleaning business, and because you can help people, you can do something, make a change. And she's like, "You're off your head," and I just went, I'm doing it. But I did it, and 2 years in, I thought, what have I done? It was a bit of a struggle to start with, because you automatically think you're going to get known instantly, but you don't.
Yeah.
So it was building up that
client
base and getting known. But once I got known, it just flourished. There were no stopping it really.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And when when you're growing up, is this what you foresaw for yourself, or did you have different plans at the time?
No, I always thought I was just going to be a forklift driver, because that's what told me it's when I went to school. That's why, yeah, you'll just they did these test things. Oh, you'd be ideal at that. And I loved cars, so I used to mess around with cars a lot.
Yep.
Thought mechanic or forklift driver. I never thought I'd be doing this.
Wonderful.
Really happy I am.
It's so funny how we get, how convoluted journeys are. I think very few people that I interview for these podcasts sort of go, no, I always wanted to be this. I did everything to get in line, and this is where I am. All very few. The only one that happens a lot is not well, probably a fair amount is people often say, I knew I wanted to be in business, I just didn't know what it would be. It didn't, and it sort of didn't matter as long as I was in business. And I interviewed a serial entrepreneur for, I think, from the age of 7 or something, was working on markets and all sorts. Absolutely fantastic.
I was working from 10.
Did you? 10, there we go. 10,
I was working in truck garages at 10 years, every Saturday and Sunday in a truck garage, working on
amazing. It's great. Isn't that wonderful? And so, looking at the growth of your business so far, what are some of the biggest issues you've had to overcome, would you say?
It were getting a good balance about making sure you've got the money there to cover the longer paying jobs. Getting the right staff is probably the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Because you can't just have anyone doing these jobs, because I am quite particular. I like things to be. I'm staff will tell you, like, oh, is he checking? I'm like, I like stuff to be right. But I'm not nasty with it in any way. I'm just, I'm bubbly. I just want it right, and getting the right staff. My big faults were when I first started. I took on just about anybody.
Yeah,
and that was probably the biggest failure I did.
Yes,
that set me back, and and I soon realised it won't go any direction I wanted. So things had to change.
It's sort of understandable, but especially in hindsight, we realise that just going for everybody, just say yes, get all the bit. You sort of need to do it right at the start, just to get going. But the quicker you can realise that we serve a certain group of clients better, and they will get best results from us. There's a match. The A grade client, because once you get into B's and C grade clients, they're typically we're not doing what they want, and they're not profitable for us. It's nuts, isn't it?
It is. So it's really down to getting it right. With each client, and some clients like some staff different to other staff, so you swap them about a bit. It's just to keep everyone happy.
Yes,
it works. But it's a hard balance.
Yep.
You go through phases and it's right smooth and everything's great, and then you'll go through. You wake up on a Monday morning and it all goes wrong.
I was just talking to a client this morning, and he described business being, as we often say, roller coaster. There's the ups and the downs, and but if it was a straight line, then everyone would do it. Okay,
I think I've learned a lot from the bad times, though. I always look at when it's bad. I look at why it's bad, what I can do to do it better, so that doesn't come up again. And I try and pre-engage on fire. It might happen, so I'll do this. I try my hardest on stuff like that to
brilliant
try to correct it. So
brilliant. And from whether it's from the challenges or successes, what are the biggest things you've learned about running and growing a business?
The biggest thing I've learned is it's a lot harder than you think.
Yeah.
And you've got to have a plan, and you've got to have a plan B to counter, in case it goes off track. It's a lot of planning. If you don't plan, you've failed.
Yeah.
You've got to have every base covered. And when you set up a new business, you don't always realise what the bases that need covering. And it can be a quick learning curve, to say at least. So, but it's all good. Everything, as I say, everything I learned from it, and every mistake, it's helped me rectify and build to a better business.
Yeah, I'm reminded our founder Brad, who's a very, very successful guy. Very successful in business, and one thing he told me quite a long time ago now, which has always stuck with me, was he believes he's successful as he is because he's made more mistakes than anybody else he knows, not despite it. It was the making the mistake, learning from it, improving that, and the willingness to take chances, which created the mistakes, if you like.
Yeah.
That together was were the two things that were most valuable to him, I think. And it's quite an eye opener, because most people, you expect me to say I'm a success despite my mistakes, but he was saying because, and I thought that was great, really interesting.
A fair play that. I could go with that myself, to be honest, because I believe you have to fail me at something to learn it fully. You know, and appreciate it as well. That stuff when it's handed to you, you don't always appreciate it.
Absolutely. No, I agree.
You appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Although, interesting enough, on the flip side of that, I heard we do a lot of work as a coaching or business coaching organization, but we learn a lot from sports coaching, because obviously coaching has been around in sport a lot longer. And there's a very well known primarily athletics coach, a guy called Frank Dick, who's been around for a very long time. And I was on a session with him, and he said, this is what he said, and I found it fascinating. He said, it makes sense to learn from our mistakes, to do that sort of idea of black box thinking. What went wrong? How do we fix it? But he also said, and I thought this fascinating, he said, but if we don't analyze why we win when we win, then we have to put it down to luck. And so it was that idea of what did we learn from winning as much as what do we learn from losing, I thought was fascinating.
Very good point. Yeah, it's something we look at in some of the things, how come we got that way? Because we'll do quotes for some stuff and we won't get it, and then we analyse why. But then, as you say, we started looking at, well, how come we did get that? What did we do slightly different, and how can we improve on that?
Absolutely, it's that constant improvement, isn't it? It's, as soon as we think we're there, we're falling backwards. In reality,
you are
pushing forward.
Yeah, can't take your eye off of it at all. You have to keep going.
Absolutely. And speaking of coaches, you're probably aware we're a business coaching organisation. I'm keen to know who the best coaches you've worked with, whether that's business, sport, life in general. Who's had the biggest impact on you?
I tell you, probably my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was successful. He did well, very well, and he always brought us up to say, you can do it yourself. You can have your own businesses. You can do this. And both people were at the time thought, yeah, right, whatever. But now he's right, because both me and my brother have got businesses. So
wonderful. Oh, yeah. I was just very proud. That's absolutely wonderful. And have you through any of the learnings you've had so far? Have you find yourself using any favorite quotes or sayings about business or success in general? Is there anything that you?
Good quote. What do you know? I thought of a quote earlier, which I very like, and I can't remember what it is. Oh God, what is it now?
Don't worry too much.
I'll find it. I've got it on here. Oh yeah, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. I tell all my staff it and my kids all the time.
Brilliant.
Everything you do is a learning.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so key, isn't it? Because knowledge gives us gives us choices, it gives us ability to analyze, gives us ability to make better decisions. So, the quality of the actions we take is the decisions we make based on the knowledge we have. And if we don't keep building that knowledge, then, as you say, we go backwards, aren't we?
We are, yeah. And if you've got good knowledge on something and you become an expert at it, you can help others, as well. This is what we do. We help other businesses,
Brilliant.
Businesses out. They'll bring me for advice on stuff, and I like to do it, And
brilliant.
I've had some cleaning companies go, well, why are you helping me? What do you want? And I'm like, I don't want to, I'm just helping you. But
absolutely wonderful.
It's sharing it. You've got to share your knowledge.
Yeah. We have a belief in abundance in Actually Coach, that there's more than enough for everybody, and when you believe that, it allows us to be very, very collaborative rather than competitive, I think. And competition is so tough and so hard and not very nice. It's much more fun to be collaborative, I think.
I do absolutely. Yeah, as I say, in my area, there's several cleaning companies that I chat with, help out, and we'll
brilliant.
Chat. And you've got to do it.
Brilliant.
There's enough work out there for everybody.
Yeah, there really is. There really is.
You don't have to be funny with them. Just be helpful. And they appreciate it. So
Absolutely. And what would you say you'd learned about yourself throughout your journey so far, Craig?
I'm much stronger than I realised. I've got much more about me than, because as I said before, being dyslexic, especially when I was a kid, you just got classed as thick, and that's what I brought up. Oh yeah, even though I knew I had a lot more in me,
Yeah,
but doing my own business has shown me I really did have it.
brilliant.
I've succeeded at what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So, and all these naysayers that were going, oh, no, you'll never, I stopped listening to them and I just, went for it and I've learned. I say it takes me a little bit longer. I've got, to learn some of stuff, but I always learn everything about everything.
Brilliant. Yeah, I always find I mean, naysayers are basically telling you what they can't do, not what you can't do. If you
Yeah.
know what I mean, it's just like that's okay. You wouldn't do it, fine, but
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're
Um,
all now going, oh,
yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Oh, okay, so you can do it. Brilliant, absolutely wonderful. It can be quite a strong motivator that actually can't it? Actually proving other people wrong. Yeah, I work with some very successful people who basically started their business because someone told them they couldn't,
Yeah.
and the rest is history, as they say.
Excellent. Yeah.
So looking forward then a little bit, Craig, what does the future look like for you guys, and what challenges do you think you might face, if any?
It's always challenging because the way the country's going, it's hard for every business, to keep going. So it's going forward. We're just trying to make us business even more better, by more training your staff and building up on it,
Brilliant.
and just really getting to nitty gritty and making sure everyone's right in the teams, and yeah, and just then building on the customer base. Really, it's there's a lot to do. As I say, we're hoarding. We're starting a support group hopefully soon online
Brilliant.
to help people. And that'll be free. Well, just to help people out. Really, you got to give
Brilliant.
a bit. I always believe in giving back.
Yep.
Yeah, it helps everyone there. So yeah, lot to do, lot going on.
Wonderful. And I'm keen to know what you'd say to anybody that was thinking of going into business right now.
If they're going into business right now, my advice would be plan a lot. Um, look into what job business they're going into and see if they can get some experience by even just going to work for somebody who has that
Yes.
type of, the inside knowledge starting at the bottom is really powerful.
Yeah.
Because you learn from the ground up.
Yep.
And if they go in and spend 6 months working for another company, they're getting a wage, but they're building knowledge, and knowledge is worth more than your wage, I assure you. So, I'd go that way if I wanted to go into something different,
Brilliant.
definitely.
It reminds me of something else that Brad did, our founder. He did exactly that. I think he had something like it was either 5 or 7 jobs over the first 3 or 4 years. And it wasn't that he wasn't employed, he was literally getting jobs in areas that he knew he needed to learn. So he got a job in marketing, a job in sales, a job, and so he was getting paid to learn how to run
Exactly.
a business.
Yeah, work for him.
Absolutely, definitely did. And if you started again, Craig, is there anything significantly you think you might do differently?
I definitely wouldn't. I'd be more vigilant on when you set up a business, you get bombarded these days by digital marketers,
Yeah,
this, that, and 90% of them are useless. I've tried them. I've tried so many and I've wasted too much money on them. And it's just now I'd be very careful on what I did and who I used.
yeah,
If I'm going to that again, I'd have to make sure, and I'd always really research the company you're going to be using,
yes,
because a lot of money gone fast because it's not a cheap thing to have done.
no,
So you need to make sure you get it right.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think all for I think the challenge of the challenge of marketing in general is that there aren't enough people that measure it so that they can actually understand the return they're getting, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. And if because ultimately marketing is one of the ultimate great investments you can make if you know you spend, £1,000 on marketing and you get £2,000 back in profit. Naturally, why not spend 10,000 to get 20,000 back? But
exactly.
You have
it's
to
the right ones. You need the right ones for your business. That's what I tried quite a few where they just didn't understand the business, and I thought that marketing would be marketing, but that you sort of need somebody with a bit of knowledge about what your type of business is.
Yes.
Really. So they can relate to you and what you really want out of it. And I've found decent ones now. I've got two.
Brilliant.
And I'm happy. But there's a lot out there that will say like, oh, go in this magazine, that magazine, this magazine. You can spend 40 grand easy just on these things. I just won't bother with any of them.
I think it's crazy because there are more simple ways of marketing that are both potentially more cost effective, but also, you're getting you can see the return more quickly. A magazine by dint of it's got to be produced, published, read, people are going to pick the phone up. Is always a long start. So, for me, starting with something a bit more quick and simple, and that you can see. Yeah. One of the beauties of social media marketing and things like advertising on Facebook or LinkedIn is literally put an advert on today and have results today, and know.
Definitely.
So it's great, very great advice. And what would be the best advice you would give to an 18-year-old you if you could go back in time and do that, Craig?
Yeah, well, not go through many jobs. I've done all sorts of jobs in my
Brilliant.
So, but it's still been learning. Like I say, I've learned
clearly.
But if I were talking to myself, I'd say, right, pick your path now and get learning it, and learn, and then save up some money, because you need a good float for any business you start.
Brilliant.
If you're setting up a business and you think, oh, I need 10,000, you need 25.
Yes.
Yeah. 10,000 just disappears at the drop of a hat. Yeah. So I'd just say plan a lot more and just go for it and believe in myself.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that.
Again, that's I found quite a few people are, successful people like yourselves that would say that is that I didn't trust myself early enough, and I could have done this earlier if I had. And I don't think there's any room for hindsight or anything like that, because hindsight is a wonderful thing. It's like we probably went the right speed for where we were at the time, if you know what I
mean. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I probably want to listen to me say at 18 anyway.
No, that's the challenge. At 18, who knows? We don't know really what we want, and even if we did, we probably wouldn't listen to anybody else telling us how to get there. So it's an interesting question. Well, Craig, it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you, and congratulations on where you're at now. And I know you talk about the passion of the hoarding and supporting hoarding and fix those things. So that's fascinating. I wish you really best of luck with that. And for anyone that's watching that would like to know more about what you do, how you help people, and the services you have, what is the best way of contacting you?
You can either contact me through my Facebook. Look, I've got a Facebook page or website. I've got a form on there to fill out just to contact me. You can just have a chat. It's if you've got issues with audio, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's 5% of the country are hoarders. There's tens of thousands of people out there. You're not on your own. And
brilliant.
That's what people need to know, that they're not on their own.
Brilliant.
And there's help there for you. Just ask.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, look, it'd be great to swing by in another 6-12 months to just see how things are developing, especially with the hoarding side of things and that. But for now, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Me too. Thank you.